Good evening.
Sawadee Ka.
I'm Charlie Crowson.
And I'm Chris Cellette.
Today is a sad day for football, I believe, Christopher. If what I'm led to believe is true, it may well be that Sir Alex Ferguson has retired from Manchester United after over 26 years.
All good things come to an end, Charlie.
All good things come to an end.
And he went out on a high note.
Yes, indeed, indeed. How does that make you feel?
Indifferent.
Indifferent, okay. We're going to start it with our first piece of news tonight. The nation's Army Military Region 21 organised an event for the 2013 Military Reinforcement Day. The event emphasised the importance and meaning of harmony for the people in Thailand. At the Military Student Training Centre of the nation's Army Military Region 21, Major General Somsak Thongpila, Chief of the nation's Army Military Region 21, opened an event for the 2013 Military Reinforcement Day. Many officers participated in the opening ceremony. During the event, military officers worshipped and honoured the statue of Prabat Somdet Pra Mongkut Klao Chao Yuhua, or the King Rama VI, as he established the nation's first scouts over 100 years ago, back in May the 6th, 1911. As May the 6th this year was also Thailand's Coronation Day, the nation's Army Military Region 21 organised the event for today instead. The event emphasises the importance and meaning of the harmony for the people of Thailand.
There you go. Look at that. Reinforcement Day. So
over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 102 years ago.
That's a long time.
Good celebrations.
Hopefully it does reinforce harmony. That'd be nice.
Would be nice. Harmony's good.
Harmony's good. Yeah, our second story tonight comes to us from Paktong Chai, sorry about that. Nakhon Ratchasima's Lamphra Plung Dam has released the last session of its irrigation process. Currently, there is only 15% of the water behind the dam, but off-season rice paddies have been saved. Our correspondents have reported on the latest drought situation in Nakhon Ratchasima province. Recently, Nakhon Ratchasima's Lamphra Plung Dam in Ampere Paktong Chai has released the last session of its irrigation process, leaving only 15% of the water capacity behind the dam. This session will help save over 15,800 acres of off-season rice paddies. The process is done by releasing 600,000 cubic meters of water per day. Hopefully the process helps rice farmers with their harvest and prevents them from losing any additional rice products. Mr. Pratuang Wandi, the Chief of Irrigation and Maintenance Department of Lamphra Plung Dam, said that the dam is now operating under a crisis situation. He will continue releasing water to residents until May 11th of this year. The rest of the water will be released again sometime in July. And from the pictures you see there, water coming out. The drought is still going on. We have had some rain, but just not enough to really fill up the reservoirs behind the dam.
There's been flashes of water recently, and certainly some flooding up in the Johor region, Bangkok region.
Yeah, just last night that happened, didn't it?
Just last night.
Just last night you had a road just wash out from the heavy rains.
But unfortunately, it's the prolonged rain that is perhaps needed to fill these reservoirs back up. And hopefully, in the next month or so, the rainy season will come back and the farming can get back to its usual.
Refill the water that keeps getting used up. But 600,000 cubic meters of water per day, we're going to need a lot of rain.
We are going to need it. And I think if you book it, it will come. So May, June time, I'm sure it will come. Our third piece this evening. Flower entrepreneurs at Tambon Dang Quyen in Chok Chai, Nakhon Ratchasima province, have revealed recent business problems. Most of their flowers have been killed by the recent heat wave. Due to the hot weather, many citizens are facing problems caused by the heat. Recently, flower entrepreneurs at Ban Dang Quyen in Ampere Chok Chai of Nakhon Ratchasima province have been losing their profits because the flowers have been killed by heat. Mrs. Wan Pen Buakao, one of the afflicted entrepreneurs, told us that she runs a flower shop at Dalad Phra Sai, and her flowers cannot cope with the heat anymore. Her flowers have turned yellow and some of them brown, as they have been burnt by the sunlight. She has to keep watering the flowers all day long as a matter of damage limitation. So there's some flowers, I believe.
Orchids, yeah. You should see a lot of orchids, and usually you keep orchids kind of in the shade, don't you? They like shade, I would think.
And some banana flowers as well, coming up earlier. But it's been dry. It's been absolutely hideously dry the last month.
The sun has been very, very hot. If you go out, if you ride a motorbike like I do, my hands and my forearms are quite dark as compared to the rest of my body, just because just sitting at a stoplight, the sun's just really intense lately. Yeah,
it's important to keep your flowers out. I know that there's a lot of budding gardeners out in Korat, and perhaps they've struggled.
Yeah, keep them in the shade. Our next piece tonight comes from Phichit Province, and again, it has to do with water. The Yom River in Phichit Province has run completely dry. Recently, children of Tambon Gampang Din and Samnam played soccer in the dried-up riverbed. While storms have brought rains to the area over the last week, the Yom River in Phichit is currently completely dry. At Muten Ban Wang Plateau in Tambun Gampang Din, Ampa Songnam of Phichit Province, residents can actually walk across the river without the use of a ferry boat. Children have taken the opportunity to play football in the riverbed. They claim playing football on the riverbed is much more fun than playing on normal ground because they do not get hurt when they fall down or crash into the ground. The Yom River runs through 4 districts of Phichit Province: Ampa Songnam, Ampa Poprap Tupchang, Ampa Bung Narang, and Ampa Potale. The river contains no water for over 127 kilometers, as the drought has continued to plague the area, going on 5 months already. And there you can see the footage of the children playing football in a dried-up riverbed. Again, some issues with water. This up in Phichit Province. So, a lot of places in Thailand being affected by this ongoing drought. I'm sure the building of dams in the upstream in places like Laos. I know they're building a big dam in Laos. They build one in Myanmar and I think in China as well. They could be contributing to the lack of water getting down into Thailand.
Yeah, if you head up to Vietnam now, anyone doing a border run and going to Vientiane, it's
even the Mekong River is like way down.
It's almost like a beach holiday. So you can always mix a beach holiday into your visa trips if you want.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
We'll take a short break now. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
วัดพุงก่อนลูกวัดผ่านสะดือจะต้องไม่เกินส่วนสูงหาร2เกินอ้วนลงพุงโรคเพียบ
ยังไงแม่
นั่นไงเห็นไหมไขมันอุดตันเส้นเลือดหมดแล้ว
วัดรอบพุงให้รู้ตัวด่วน
น่ากิน
ติดพุงถ้าจะกินต้องลดพุงก่อน
ยังไงแม่
เลือกกินลดทอดลดมันเพิ่มผักผลไม้
ไม่เอาไข่เจียวขาหมูมีไหมอยากกินของทอด
อร่อยไหม
เลือกกินลดพุงลดโรค
ขั้นตอนสุดท้ายของการลดพุงแกว่งแขน
ยังไงแม่
กางขาเท่าไหร่แกว่งแขนไปข้างหลังให้สุดแกว่งมาข้างหน้าให้ผ่อนเริ่ม
แกว่งแขนหนึ่งในวิธีลดพุงแต่ถ้ามีพื้นที่มากควรเลือกการเดิน
ไม่มีพุงแล้วกินได้เลยไหมแม่
ได้เลยลูก
ไม่อ้วนลงพุง
ออกมาแล้ว
ชีวิตก็รอดปลอดภัย
Welcome back.
Yes, indeed.
We'll move on to our next piece. And just before we do, I mentioned that we have a story coming up on communicable disease prevention in cattle. Stone throwers in Chiang Rai who have been rampaging, and a Mukdahan hunt for Nongru, a video director, I believe. First, we'll move on to my next story. The road to the natural gas separation plant of Trans-Thai Malaysian company has been blocked by Songkhla villagers. The villagers are not happy that the plant has been destroying their local environment. Nearly 50 villagers of Mu 2 and 8, Tambon Taling Chun, in Ampur Jana of Songkhla province, have gathered and blocked the road to the natural gas separation plant of Trans-Thai Malaysian company. They are asking for local environmental money for damages caused by the plant. The monetary damages add up to about 4 million baht per year. Over 900 residences have been affected, and they have been promised by the plant that they will receive up to 5,000 baht each per year. Lately, villagers have become even more dissatisfied, as 50 new families have arrived in the area, but the plant has decided not to add more money for damages, but instead lower the monetary damages per capita. However, the manager of the plant has invited villagers' representatives for negotiations, and they are in the middle of their discussions.
So it's a gas separation plant. Unfortunately, we don't have video footage of the actual plant.
But a shame if there is a budget for those kind of damages, perhaps the budget should be looked at by an outsider rather than maybe the head of the organisation. But I hope that everything goes well there, and that an agreement can be made in these discussions.
It's the double-edged sword of natural gas, isn't it? Creates jobs, but at the same time, you can really start to damage the environment as well. As you said, a lot of families are saying they're being affected by the plant and the operations there. Because if you're doing that, you're going to have some waste process as well, separating natural gas from, usually from a liquid petroleum source of some kind.
Indeed.
Well, hopefully everybody gets better and gets exactly what they want. Our next story coming up tonight, it comes from Buriram. In the Buriram's Office of Department of Livestock are strictly monitoring cattle imports and exports during this period of the year. Cattle from other regions may have some communicable diseases and could cause problems within the region and the nation as a whole. Mr. Pojpirat Nyamjui, the chief of Buriram's Office of Department of Livestock, has directed officers to inspect and watch closely cattle imports, especially ones from neighboring countries. Any cattle transfers must produce a license and permission documentation from the department. Because it's been raining recently in the northeastern regions, cattle can easily contract communicable diseases, especially foot and mouth disease and swollen neck disease. These diseases were found in hundreds of cattle in Ampur Blupla of Buriram several years ago, and they are easily communicable among cattle. However, Buriram's Office of Department of Livestock are giving vaccinations to cattle in the area to prevent any new outbreaks. Any farmer who has not had their cattle vaccinated against these diseases should contact the Buriram's Office of Department of Livestock as soon as possible in order to protect their own cattle and livestock throughout the region. Sorry about that, choking a little bit on my own words. But yeah, foot and mouth, I know in England they have experience with the foot and mouth disease among cattle. And swollen neck disease, I've not heard of that one. That's a new one that I've heard of. But yes, it's important to get your livestock vaccinated. Otherwise, you can have very quick outbreaks within livestock populations for diseases like foot and mouth and swollen neck disease. So it is in Buriram, and they're worried about mostly cattle coming from neighboring countries, which I was not really aware that Thailand was importing that many cattle from other countries.
Well, talking of cattle, have you ever tried the European cattle that's based in, is it
Sakon Nakhon.
Sakon Nakhon?
I think it is.
Beautiful cattle. If you have a steak fetish or are ever passing up in the north of Isan, then certainly try the European cattle. It is something special.
I'll have to do that.
We'll move on to our next story. A gang of stone throwers and their scooters have been recently rampaging shops and houses along a road in Chiang Rai province. Residents of Tambon Pa Or Don Chai in Ampere Muang, Chiang Rai province, have been affected by a rampage of stone throwers. Recently, many houses and shops have been damaged, in particular a house in Mu Ban 1, Rong Kun, Tambon Pa Or, Don Chai of Ampere Muang, Chiang Rai, owned by a Mr. Likit Gaoluam Sai. The 78-year-old house owner told us that he is running a tour business and his glass door was smashed by a stone. The gang threw a stone into the shop at night whilst the area was quiet. Recently, Chiang Rai Regional Police got 3 victims for their ridiculous behaviour. Police officers determined the situation was caused by teenagers in the area. However, officers are hoping to catch those responsible as soon as possible. So some very immature behaviour there, leading to a lot of expense.
Yeah, that's just silly. That's sad.
owners.
I really feel for that. Oh, look at that. I feel for those residents in that area. I mean, what stone throwing?
It reminds me of days back in England, perhaps watching people throwing stones off motorway bridges, which is just absolutely.
Don't give him any more ideas. Yeah, well,
I think we're preaching to an all-round higher class of people with our news here at KCTV than the stone throwers.
Well, hopefully, yeah. And they probably don't watch this very regularly. Stone throwing gangs in Chiang Mai. Our last piece tonight comes from Mukdahan. The Mukdahan immigration officers are continuing their intensive search for the vice director of Nong Ro Regional Police, who is on the run for the murder of a Khon Kien administration deputy. Police Lieutenant Colonel Wichian Lee Pirottukul, the vice director of Mukdahan Immigration Office, discussed the case of a Khon Kien administration deputy who was killed by the vice director of Nong Rua Regional Police and 2 of his colleagues on May 3, 2013. Police Lieutenant Colonel Somchit Keo Prom, the vice director of Nong Rua Regional Police, has been accused of murdering Mr. Suchat Kotpratum, a Khon Kien administration deputy. Officers believe the 3 men have been hiding and are on the run in Laos currently. Right now, Mukdahan officers are looking intensively for the vice director of the Nong Rua Regional Police. Once he and his team are found, the officers can arrest them right away. Immigration officers have also been working with administration and police officers in the Savannakhet province of Laos in the attempts to track the men to Thailand so that they can stand trial. So you have a police officer killing another administration deputy and then fleeing into Laos in order to avoid capture, but looks like
shocking news, and I hope that everything can be brought to justice there.
Yes. Well, it's good that the police officers in Savannakhet are actually helping the immigration police from Mukdahan to track down, I believe his name was a Police Lieutenant Colonel Somchit Gao Prom, along with 2 other men who had helped him in the murder of a Khon Kien administration deputy, Mr. Suchart Kotpratum, which happened again on May 3rd, 2013. So we do hope that those men are found quickly and brought back to stand trial.
And obviously sympathies go out to the families of those who were fatally killed.
Yes. So we didn't get to end on any happy sports news today, Charlie, but
no, unfortunately not. But certainly a big shock there, and a slightly lighter note is how on earth did the cameraman manage to squeeze into the kiosk behind the immigration officer there? Because I don't know if you've ever seen those officers. They're really small, so
yeah,
maybe a small cameraman, maybe a small camera. But again, I would like to put out big sympathies for all Manchester United fans. Sir Alex Ferguson will be leaving, and it's a poor bit of and very sad bit of sports news to end on. But that's all we've got time for today. We'll see you again next Wednesday. I've been Charlie Crowson.
I'm still Chris Cellette.
Good night.
Good night.